Hey everyone, this is Derrick Broze of the Conscious Resistance Network, and today we're going to be talking about some of the financial situations going on as we deal with the fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic and really the blowback from the reaction by the government, of course the stimulating of the economy by the Federal Reserve, at least that's what they like to call it, and how this could potentially lead to a cashless society, universal basic income, digital ID that tracks all your purchases, as well as lets people know whether or not you've had the vaccine or if you've been cleared of COVID-19, and many other things that sort of check off plans for the alleged New World Order, the powers that wish they were. But before we do that, though, I want to remind you guys to bookmark theconsciousresistance.com. I just want to say I've launched another crowdfunding campaign. I'm trying to raise some funds to keep the Conscious Resistance Network alive, to keep myself able out here to be able to keep bringing you the news. For those who haven't heard, if you haven't quite seen the videos popping up, Facebook, of course, is up to the usual censorship. YouTube, both of them in recent days have announced that their algorithms are going to be handling, watching their platforms as people are going home from the coronavirus. And they've admitted that some channels might disappear. They're already taking down pages and things, not even people who are reporting, conspiracies, but just people reporting facts about what's going on in their community. So I think that this situation is also going to be a cover for purging more people and for deleting channels and websites and things of that sort. I'm going to stay alive one way or the other. I've got my own servers working with some friends, so my website is secure. My YouTube channel could go down. Some of these channels could go down, but I will still be out doing news. And so if you want to contribute anything you can, for the next 15 days, I'm going to be running a crowdfunding campaign. Of course, no stress or anything at the moment. Let's keep going, though. Let's talk about this news. Yesterday, Bitcoinist reports ultimate test for fiat as U.S. bank runs loom. Now, this is interesting. As this report, it's saying it started as being just one person coming from China. We have it under control. The president said it's going to be just fine. 2 months later, the U.S. and Europe are in national states of emergency, and banks and lockdown New York are starting to run out of cash. As bank runs loom ahead, this could be the ultimate test for fiat. Now, of course, this is coming from a crypto website, so some would say, oh, well, they're just trying to push crypto on me. Well, I think they are trying to get people to recognize that cash and the banks are not safe. So they obviously want to get people to look more into crypto. And I want to pause here and say, for those of you who are like, oh, crypto, Bitcoin, it's part of the New World Order. Again, you don't understand crypto. You don't understand blockchain. It's not all one system. Yes, there is going to be a cashless society, as we're talking about here. There's going to be a global digital currency. I wouldn't call it it's definitely not a decentralized cryptocurrency. So there's a difference between decentralized and centralized. Not all cryptos are built the same. Not all blockchains are built the same. But my point here is that this report is highlighting how various banks in New York are starting to run out of cash. As the stock market suffered its worst day in 3 decades, a Midtown Bank of America branch saw lines of people at its ATMs. Bank of America's were drawing cash from their accounts, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars at a time. The demand was so great that the branch could not cope and temporarily ran out of $100 bills. So people couldn't access their money. Banks across the country have been scaling back operations and closing branches. This has been explained as a measure to help stem the spread of the virus with social distancing. However, it's starting to look as if the banks are beginning to take more drastic measures. Although unconfirmed by an official source, managing director at Mantis VC and Forbes contributor Tatiana Kaufman took to Twitter last night to say that Bank American cash withdrawals have been reduced to $3,000. She stated ominously, expect that number to drop over the next few days. This was 2 days ago. I haven't followed up on that Twitter feed to see if there's any more confirmations on that, but we can see this story here they're talking about is from AmericanBanker.com, how the banks are shutting down their branches. Some of them are just going to only drive through. Some of them are just shutting down completely. And yeah, this could be potentially just using the outbreak as an excuse to stop people having access to their banks. This is why it's valuable to hold on cash if you want to. It's better than keeping your money in the banks, just like with crypto. If you don't have your crypto in your own wallet and it's in some reserve, which is basically the equivalent of a bank or somebody else holding it, it's not yours if you don't have your private keys. If your money's in a bank or some other institution, it is not yours. You need to get it out as soon as possible, as chill as possible. Go over there and start pulling money out. And then, of course, other people would recommend investing in crypto, investing in things like silver. Everything is suffering right now. The stocks, crypto, silver, gold. But things like silver and gold, and I would say crypto now, are going to have long-term value. At least that's what we can hope for. But I would also say a better investment, my favorite investment, if you want to think of it that way, is seeds. Getting seeds whenever and however possible. Good seeds, quality seeds, supplies, tobacco, alcohol, cannabis, things that you can trade, things that are long-term value. You can see here this one from KHQ CSCU. It's a credit union. Says withdrawing cash, extra cash during the COVID-19 outbreak might be a bad idea. Spokane Teachers Credit Union said people are starting to withdraw an extra amount of cash and that it might be a bad move. 4 reasons they said this is a bad idea. Cash is vulnerable. Credit union accounts are federally insured to $250,000, making them a gazillion times safer than keeping your money under the mattress. Yeah, right. If the banks crash, you really think you're going to be insured? I doubt it. Cash is not required. With so many secure ways to access your accounts and pay your bills, there's almost no reason you'll need extra cash. Cash is tempting. You may actually need less cash at this time, unless, of course, you've got it stuffed in your wallet, tempting you to spend money you would not have spent if it were secure in the bank. Yeah, right. You spend more money when it's on a credit card and you have no idea. You're not actually seeing the money disappear out of your pocket. Cash is, well, kind of dirty. As regards to your personal health, the Center for Disease Prevention, Control and Prevention recommends always washing hands after handling cash. And that's true. Cash is dirty, but you can see how it's playing right into their message, including World Health Organization encourages use of contactless payments due to COVID-19. This is just about a week ago from Forbes magazine. And central banks have resorted to quarantine physical bills, and some are even going so far as to burn banknotes. South Korea's central bank, the Bank of Korea, has implemented a quarantine policy for physical notes that come in from local banks. They'll keep banknotes in a safe for up to 2 weeks. As far as early as February 15th, Chinese lenders were asking the government to both disinfect bills and keep them in a safe for up to 14 days. The Federal Reserve has also been setting aside U.S. dollar banknotes from Asia for 7 to 10 days before circulating them. The Bank of England has acknowledged that banknotes in circulation can hold bacteria and viruses and recommend people washing their hands. It seems like we're going in that direction. World Health Organization has reportedly told The Telegraph that people should use contactless technology where possible. This could be helpful for cryptocurrencies, which can be made completely contactless from a physical standpoint and still allow for the transport. So again, crypto can be valuable, but when they bring out the global crypto or the Fed coin or whatever it may be, do not take it. And here's sort of a counterpoint to that. It's interesting. This is from MIT Technology Review. No, coronavirus is not a good argument for quitting cash. Though it's theoretically possible, there is no evidence that physical money or any inanimate surface for that matter helps the virus spread. And I will put this below. You can, offer this as a counterpoint to those people who might be proposing that digital payments are better or that cash is we need to get rid of it. But I will say right here is an important note. Luhai Li, a former president of the state-owned Bank of China, recently argued that in light of the epidemic, China's central bank should speed the release of its planned digital currency, which is supposed to replace physical cash. China's already moving to a cashless society. India, other places are already cashless. This epidemic is going to bring on the cashless society even quicker than we could have imagined. Then last week, when asked about whether cash could spread coronavirus, a spokesman for the World Health Organization told the UK newspaper, the Daily Telegraph, it's a good idea to use contactless payments. The WHO later clarified that this was actually not coronavirus specific and that it had not issued any official warnings about cash. So they're just basically saying like, hey, let's use less cash in general. And when you search cash, COVID-19, you can see that the economic news is already starting to be felt. U.S. states turn to cash reserves as COVID-19 strains budgets. Senator Cotton releases COVID-19 response plan to give cash directly to families, and that's the next part we're going to get into. Trump admits it wants to send American workers cash immediately. Regulators, banks plan for contingencies as customers rush for cash amid COVID-19. Mobile payments today. Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, the COVID-19 effect on transportation. No cash turnpike tolls, no license centers. Pennsylvania Turnpike to temporarily stop accepting cash. Kenya turns to mobile money to stem the spread of COVID-19. Will implement a fee waiver on East Africa's leading mobile money product, M-Pesa, to reduce the physical contact and the spread of cash. And as we said, the World Health Organization encouraging contactless payments. Now back to this where they're saying that people want to give money directly to families. Trump already announced that they're considering a direct payment. And this is what is known as UBI, or Universal Basic Income, which people like Andrew Yang have called for. And you can see Andrew Yang is celebrating this. I'll be a very happy man. Will the coronavirus outbreak turn Andrew Yang's plan into reality? Americans need cash now. Coronavirus has lawmakers calling for UBI. Trump admitted wants to send American workers cash immediately. Now, this does make sense on some level that there are going to be lots of people out of work who are hurting and who are suffering at this time. And so putting money in the hands of the people could be valuable, but it's also going to be the push towards a universal basic income. And for anybody with some economic sense knows that that's not going to help. It's only going to help in the immediate, but it's going to hurt in the long term, because just like the Federal Reserve and quantitative easing and pumping trillions and billions of dollars into the economy, it's not going to last very long. It's not going to be helpful in the long term. It's going to help further inflate the economy and lead us to crashing the economy, which again, the economy is all funny money and numbers anyway. This does seem to be designed to provide cover for the crashing of the economy, which some have argued for years has already been in the process of taking place. But rest assured, this pandemic is going to, hasten that even further. You can see here, Time Magazine. Here's Andrew Yang. Will the coronavirus's outbreak turn Andrew Yang's $1,000 promise into a reality? And this is after Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin says cash infusions could happen swiftly. And so they're already talking about sending the people $1,000. We got UBI. Americans need cash now. Coronavirus has lawmakers calling for UBI, including Mitt Romney. We got this one from Politico. Republicans adopt Andrew Yang's cause. He isn't celebrating. You can read more about that, but it's just showing you that this idea is spreading very quickly. Even those of you who like Tulsi Gabbard might have seen this. House Resolution 897. Citizens need a UBI during the COVID-19 crisis. Congressperson Tulsi Gabbard has introduced House Resolution 897, asking Congress to issue citizens a UBI. Please write a letter to your congressperson right now. Ask them to co-sponsor this to ensure a basic income cash transfer to each U.S. citizen. Of course, this is people who are paying taxes, who are part of the system, that are going to be getting this money. You got to be plugged in. And you know what? Wouldn't it be interesting if this UBI came with some contingency, some requirement that you verify that you've been vaccinated for COVID-19, or that you at least have been proven to have been clean before you can get your cash payment? I think we have to be really worried about these type of contingencies. And also, I want to point this out. Many of you have been saying, guys, Derrick, have you heard about this? ID 2020, Global ID 2020? Why, yes, I have heard of it. In fact, I was probably talking about it before most. The global crackdown on vaccine hesitancy and ID 2020. I talked about this last year. This is part of the plan as well. So we're moving towards a time of cash being discouraged, potential bank runs coming, states and people being cash strapped, talk of UBI, Universal Basic Income, further inflating the economy, as the Federal Reserve is doing. The Federal Reserve has bailed out Wall Street twice now in the last couple weeks, and nobody even flinches or bats an eye because, well, it's to save us from, the epidemic. And this also could push towards the Global ID 2020, where you have to have a digital ID in order to be able to get your UBI, in order to get your cash rebate, in order to be able to use transportation, in order to be able to go to school, in order to be able to do anything. You might need an ID that proves that you've been vaccinated or that you're clean and that you're not carrying the virus. This is something we need to be careful of, guys. I just want to do this video today to highlight the fact that there is a bunch of economic things going on as well. I'll probably be doing some interviews with some folks who can get us a little bit more in depth and some more expertise on this. But at the end of the day, I want to say this. Look, there's a lot of people claiming to be economic experts, and most of us don't know. There are people who are better. I think the Austrian school has some insights, and I think there are others who have some insights as well. But at the end of the day, we've known for quite some time. We've seen it in the elites' plans, the powers that wish they were, that they want to centralize everything, the world. One global government, one global economy, one global system, one ring to rule them all, okay? This is part of the plan. They can't have people running around using all types of currencies, especially not decentralized alternative currencies outside of the state's hands. They have to get people to buy into the one currency to rule them all, to track them all, to monitor them all. And I do believe that is going to be part of the new normal that we keep hearing about. If anybody has noticed this talk of the new normal everywhere. And that is going to be a topic for the next video. What is this new normal? What do they mean by this new normal? And what can you do to reject and push back against this new normal? Thank you guys so much for listening. Please be safe out there. Please take your vitamin C. Take some elderberry if you're feeling sick. Stock up on things like vitamin C. Stock up on superfoods with plenty of good magnesium and vitamin D and B12, and then do some detoxing however you can, whatever fits your budget and your needs. And please be safe, mentally, physically prepared, psychologically, for anything that's coming. And if you can throw any funds towards our efforts to continue bringing you the news, please consider doing so. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for all the love and the peace and everything that you have given to me over the last 10 years. I hope that as we move forward, we really can start to move to a place of action, because, guys, this has never just been about making YouTube videos for me. This has been about trying to educate you and myself and sharing this journey together as we try to build a better world and survive and thrive. And I've provided solutions in my books and my documentaries and in various videos and podcasts. But if you only watch, if you only listen, if you don't act, then we're going to fail. Let's succeed together. Let's grow together. Peace.